Once two brothers lived in a small cottage. Thomas the elder had a heart as cold as ice. He cared only for himself.
Humph, another day, another pile of wood to chop.
David the younger had a heart full of sunshine. He helped everyone.
Good morning, little garden. Let's make sure everyone gets some fresh vegetables today.
Every day, Thomas chopped wood in the forest. He sold the wood and kept all the money.
More money for me and only me.
David tended their little garden. He shared his vegetables with everyone.
Here you go, Mrs. Jenkins, some fresh carrots for your stew.
One sunny morning, Thomas went into the woods. He wanted to find the best trees to chop.
Ugh, this work is never ending.
David stayed home. He sang as he watered his carrots and cabbages. He was happy to share his harvest.
La la la, these veggies are going to make everyone so happy.
The forest was dark and deep. Thomas walked farther than he had ever gone before.
This place is eerie, but I need the best trees.
He heard the wind whispering through the leaves. He ignored it and kept walking.
Look at him, so focused on himself.
Suddenly, he saw a sight that made him gasp. In a clearing stood a tree unlike any other. Its leaves shimmered like silver. Its branches were laden with golden apples.
I've never seen so much gold in one place.
Thomas had never seen so much gold in one place. He forgot all about chopping wood. He ran towards the tree, his eyes gleaming with greed.
These apples are mine.
He reached out to grab a golden apple, but a voice stopped him. Magical tree. Please, kind sir, do not take my apples. Thomas froze.
Who said that? Magical tree. It is I, the tree. These apples are my gift to the world, but I will give you more if you spare my life. Spare your life, you are just a tree. I will cut you down and take all your apples. Magical tree, wait, I will give you 10 golden apples every day if you let me live. You will be rich.
Thomas hesitated. 10 golden apples every day would be a fortune.
10 golden apples every day?
He licked his lips, his greed battling with the strange request.
What should I do? Promise?
Thomas asked, his voice raspy with anticipation. Magical tree, I promise. Just do not harm my branches. But Thomas was too greedy. He wanted all the apples, not just 10 a day. He raised his axe high above his head. As soon as the axe touched the tree's bark, a sharp pain shot through Thomas's body. He cried out in agony as hundreds of tiny needles pierced his skin. He dropped his axe and fell to the ground, writhing in pain. The needles wouldn't come out. He cried for help, but no one could hear him in the deepest part of the woods. He was trapped by his own greed, his screams echoing through the silent forest. Meanwhile, David felt a pang of worry. The sun was setting and Thomas was still not home. He knew something was wrong. He picked up his lantern and ran into the woods, calling his brother's name. He followed the sound of Thomas's cries until he found him lying beneath the shimmering tree.
Thomas.
He cried, rushing to his brother's side. Thomas looked up, his face contorted in pain.
David, help me, the needles, they hurt so much.
David carefully examined the needles. Using his gardening shears, he gently removed each one, his touch as gentle as a summer breeze. With each needle removed, Thomas felt a sliver of relief. But more than that, he felt a warmth spread through his heart, a warmth he hadn't felt in a long time. As the last needle came out, Thomas looked at David, his eyes filled with shame.
David, I was so greedy, I'm sorry.
David smiled.
It's all right, brother. We all make mistakes.
He helped Thomas to his feet. Suddenly, golden apples began to rain down around them. The tree's voice, no longer a whisper, boomed through the clearing. Magical tree, you have shown great kindness, David, and you, Thomas, have learned the folly of greed. For that, I reward you both. From that day on, the brothers shared the tree's bounty. Thomas learned the joy of giving, and they both discovered that a brother's love, like the golden apples, was a treasure beyond measure.